All right, so I want to talk about lessons from over $2 million spent on ads just last year alone. And actually, I think we spent way more than that by now because this is one of our business managers. You see 2.1 million from March till the end of February. It's 1 year period in 72 ad accounts. And now we actually own 818 ad accounts. At the time of making this screenshot, I think now we're more close to 950. And yeah, there's a couple other things. Entrepreneur has said that I'm a digital marketing star. I've been running campaigns since I was 11. That I'm a Facebook advertising guru. These things really make me feel humbled because I never intended to be an expert. You see, when I was starting out, I really just wanted a better life for my parents. When that investment happened, but now that other people help me and I had mentors and other just people take me under their wings, now I do have this genuine desire to help other people. And I think one of the best things that we can do in today's age is social media marketing. It's inexpensive, it can grow really quick and grow really fast. And my whole idea, my whole intention is, listen, if you've got a product or service that's meaningful, right, that changes lives, that makes someone better, then I want to back that service with my skills of Facebook advertising to help you blow it up, to help you get the customers and clients you need to impact more lives. Because I do believe that if you impact only one life, then that one person may impact 10 other people, and those 10, 100 other people. So you create this ripple effect. Slowly but surely, we can change the world for the better. It sounds cheesy, I know, but I really do believe in that. So that's the whole idea. That's why I'm still doing the agency. I could have long ago passed it on to someone else. I could have quote unquote retired, but I love doing this stuff. Here's an article on HuffPost Inc. Forbes best-selling book, blah blah blah. I got mentioned in a bunch of PR. But here's what I'm really proud about. I mean, there's so much stuff I could put out there and put myself on a pedestal and really blow my own whistle, but blow my own horn, I should say, actually. But I don't really care about those things. What I care about is these people right here. People that have come to me, and maybe in the beginning they were skeptical. Maybe in the beginning they didn't have the budget. In the beginning they had fears. What if my ROI is not going to get generated? What if my funnel is not good enough? But these people went from nothing. Or maybe they were at an existing level, but I helped them bridge the gap. That's what I'm really proud about. So with that being said, I want to talk about these things right here. We managed a few million in ad spend right now, over 800 accounts, been in Forbes, blah, 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 bestseller, hundreds of clients have served. That's really what I care about. And the tens of millions of dollars that we generated in revenue. Okay, so now in this video specifically, I want to share some of my best kept secrets when it comes to Facebook advertising in general. Okay. I think in the local business video or somewhere I mentioned the key core principle, which is the nature of the platform. You see, Facebook is not a commerce platform. It's not Amazon, not e-commerce. It's not Shopify. People go there to socialize, right? So imagine you're having a barbecue party in your garden, right? And this guy out of nowhere, you don't know who he is. He comes into your party, he's uninvited, and he tells you, hey, you want to buy these pair of knives? It's $50 each. How would you feel? Wouldn't you feel intruded? Wouldn't you just want to kick him out? Wouldn't you want to spread the message that, like, what's wrong with this guy? Well, that's how a lot of people actually approach Facebook, and they don't understand that Facebook is a social platform. No one wakes up in the morning, credit card in hand, thinking what they're going to buy. So we need a completely different approach to Facebook. Sure, if you advertise on Google, you can put in a message. If people look for, buying a barbecue grill, you can put in an ad that like, hey, you want to buy, barbecue grill? Check out mine. That's okay. But on Facebook, it has to change. And number one, your message needs to stand out. There's a principle by Seth Godin of the principle of the purple cow. And it's all about being remarkable. Big names like Tony Robbins said that what made him stand out was the firewalk. He admitted there was nothing unique or nothing new about his information, just like everyone else. Usually they get it from their mentors or books. There's only a handful of principles under the sun, such as positive psychology and all these things. And he got them from their mentors. And I'm sure he developed new systems and strategies over time. But back then, he confessed his information was nothing remarkable, but how he made it remarkable was the firewalk. I mean, imagine if you went to unleash the power within and you go back to work or you go back to your peer group the next day and they ask you, hey, what did you do on the weekend? Well, what are you going to tell them? Yeah, I was at this, seminar about a better life, or you tell them, hey, I walked on fire. Does that make sense? And that message spread like wildfire, and that's how he built his reputation, built his name. So you got to find something that's remarkable. Another tool I recommend is called addicted.io. It's a spy tool. So you can type in the keyword of your competitors. I can actually show you super quick. Addicted.io. You type in the keyword. Oops. Hold on. There we go. So you type in the keyword, and you're going to see all the ads that are related to that keyword. So let's say we type in client, right? And now you're going to see all the ads that have the word client in it, And this way you can take a look at your marketplace and really see what's working and what's not working. And also based on that information, you can figure out what everyone else is saying. So it's going to help you craft your unique selling proposition, your unique message. Think of music over noise. There's so much noise out there. There's so many people saying, hey, I'll show you how to get more clients. I'll show you how to get, higher paying clients. Everybody and their two best friends say that. How can you say something unique that's going to stand out from the crowd? Think about that. That's number one. I would say the biggest myth. I want to talk about the biggest myth in Facebook. Okay, people seek advanced strategies. That's the biggest myth. Matter of fact, if you've heard of Dan Kennedy, one of the biggest, most well-known internet marketing direct response marketers out there, he's pretty much the grandfather of internet marketing. He was asked this question once. Hey Dan, if you had the chance to go to two seminars, one of them would be titled Advanced Marketing Strategies to Grow Your Business, or another one would be called The Fundamentals. Which one would you go to essentially grow your business? And he said every single time he would go to the fundamentals because that's where you really move the needle. The fundamentals are what matters. Advanced strategies can only give you incremental increase, maybe 1 or 2% here, and I'm not trying to disregard it. It's still important to a degree, but if your fundamentals are flawed, your business is not going to work. If you have a broken funnel from ground zero, if you have a building that doesn't have proper fundamentals, it's not going to stand. So that's why Dan Kennedy, the grandfather of internet marketing, said that I would rather put way more time and effort and energy into fundamentals, making sure that those are done correctly, than advanced strategies. And I completely understand because, listen, our brain is wired to look for advanced strategies. We love the Santa Claus feeling. When we were kids and we were promised that, yes, there's Santa Claus, of course, depending on your religion, and we were sold this idea. We still want that feeling. We crave it. But we know Santa Claus doesn't exist. Now we know it's a myth. So since childhood, we've been left with this desire to look for something like an unfair advantage. But those things don't really exist. They're simple fundamentals, and if they're practiced over and over and over again, that's how you get results. There's so many forums and groups that I see, and people are still talking about, okay, should I split the color of my opt-in button on a landing page? Should it be green? Should it be red? And I know, sometimes small split tests can result in massive differences, but all of that doesn't matter if your fundamentals are flawed. And I know I'm repeating the same thing. I'm just really trying to get you the point because it's not enough to understand this intellectually. You need this emotionally. You need this in the core of who you are. You see, our brain thrives on advanced strategies. It really seeks it out. But that's not really what's going to make or break your business. So let's dive back into the biggest myth. I said it's advanced strategies, but what I mean by that, So whenever people come to us, they ask me for advanced strategies. So what is the bidding that we use? Is it automatic or manual? What is the targeting that you use? Do you double layer it? Do you just do this? Do you do that? How do you optimize the campaign? How do you scale? Or what's the campaign objective? They keep asking me mechanical questions. They keep asking me advanced stuff, and I keep telling them that is not gonna make your goals happen. That is not the reason you're not hitting your goals. Yes, if you get the mechanics right, maybe it's going to add 20% to your results. But that's where people think they're missing the boat. The reality is that their fundamentals are flawed. Their funnel, their unique selling proposition, their offer is simply not selling. Their sales process is broken. That's where the problem is. They're noise. They're not music. They don't stand out. If you go out in a market that's extremely crowded and you start, preaching the same thing everybody else does, I don't care how good your Facebook ads are. I don't care how magnificent your funnel is. No one's going to listen to you. No one's going to become a client because there's 100 other people pitching it and been doing it for so much longer. Do you see what I'm saying? A lot of people misunderstand that they major in minor things. They misunderstand it. And a lot of the times it's not their fault because they've been misled. They've been simply thought by the wrong mentor. I mean, the reality out there is there's so many blind leading the blind, so I don't necessarily blame you for it. I've been there myself. Actually, got to run for a meeting. I'll be right back. And I'm back at number 2, market. So we talked about the message, the message that stands out, being remarkable, being the music over the noise. Now, that's part number 1. Now you got to make sure that that message gets heard by the right market. You may have the best message regarding weight loss, or you're selling a watch, or you're a local business and you've got a great USP. You put everything to rest. But who's going to hear it now? If you talk about a high class luxury watch to, maybe high schoolers, they're not really going to listen to you. That's not what they seek. And that may be a weird example, but actually so many people do just that. They have a certain message, and a lot of the times it's not even dialed in, but then they put the right message in front of the wrong people. So the end result is that no one buys, no one clicks, or no one signs up. So when you go about targeting people, you gotta look at the trifecta. It's very simple. Who do they follow? Where do they frequent? And what do they fund? So, actually, where do they frequent? So, who do they follow? Think of leaders in the industry. Think of authors. Think of speakers. Think of all the people that your marketplace listens to. Okay, where do they frequent? So, where they regularly hang out, spend time, what kind of publications they read, what kind of blogs they read, what kind of books they read. Okay, think about that. And then finally, what do they fund? Think of charities, causes. Where do they spend their money? Right? If we want to look at targeting someone that's entrepreneurial, then we may want to target a leader in that space, such as, Tony Robbins, Brendon Burchard, Robin Sharma, and we may know that they read books such as, Think and Grow Rich. And you may know that they read the Success magazine. And you may know that they have, a typical charity that they like. Okay? Or they love Whole Foods. They're a coffee drinker. A lot of entrepreneurs like bulletproof coffee. So these are ways that you can target people. You can put multiple layers. You can maybe target people who like bulletproof coffee, that are interested in entrepreneurship, and that own a Facebook page. It's called the Facebook page admin. It's a behavior, but you could say that they own a Facebook fan page, right? That's essentially what it means. So essentially using this targeting, you layered 3 sections. And now you're laser targeted on who is that you want to target. Now that's how I would recommend you start out, and eventually you want to build up. Now imagine your ad. Okay, that's number 3. And imagine that ad would literally go out there and say, yo, you want to have sex? How would you feel? Or if someone just stood in front of you like 1 millimeter away and screamed into your face, yo, you want to buy my shit? And, these examples are brutal. They're kind of crazy. But that's what 99% of marketers actually do. They come up with the classic usual stuff. And the crazy thing is that a lot of them are aware, but they literally say this: hey, you don't know me, I don't know you, you don't owe me anything, I don't owe you anything, but why don't you buy my shit? And that's literally their marketing that comes from their ads. And the best thing that you can hope for, if that's how you approach marketing, is that you'll be ignored. The worst thing is that it's going to ruin your reputation forever. You see, the problem with this is most people start selling right away. The problem is that they think it's as simple as add to purchase. I already explained that this is a social platform, not commerce. So the add to purchase doesn't work. What works here, on the other hand, is add, funnel, and purchase. We need to put through people a specific sequence that's going to educate them, that's going to pre-sell them, that's going to pre-empty their objections, so when it comes to time to purchase, they are good to go. And of course, this adjusts, depending on the niche that you're in. If you're doing e-commerce, yes, sometimes we just directly send them to purchase. Yes, that's true. Whatever I talk about applies in 99% of cases. Sometimes there's obviously some exceptions, right? So here's some golden rules. When we implement a funnel, how should that look like? Well, number one, you give before you ask. This builds the principle of reciprocity. This is a psychological trigger, and when we feel given something free of charge as human beings, then we feel this need within us to give back. It's normal, it's natural. So whenever you give something to people, they're going to feel that need to give you something back. Another thing is that each and every step of your marketing funnel should add value to their life. Whether you send them to a landing page to download an ebook, you ask them to watch a video, you ask them to watch a webinar, the worst thing that you can do is just sell. If it's not valuable, if they're spending time on your stuff and it's not giving them any sort of value, then they're going to associate pain with you. Because they just wasted time. They just lost time. And that easily you can lose a potential client. You got to keep in mind that at all times, your customers / your prospects are always looking for a reason to say no. And that's true with every single part of your funnel. They're just looking for a reason to say no. They don't have PR. They don't have social proof. They don't have this. They don't have that. They're looking for a reason to say no to you because they have options, right? So you got to make sure that you don't give them those reasons to say that. And one of those reasons could be, hey, this guy is just selling me. He's not really giving me any value. He's not really making me a better marketer, a better fit pro, or better whatever after his funnel sequence. Why should I pay him? Right? So pay attention to that. Like I said, you only got one reputation. Best thing is that they're going to ignore you. Best thing that they're going to forget about you. But if they start spreading the word that this guy is just out there to make a quick buck, and they ruin your reputation, and they tell their friends, or if their friends actually ask them, like, hey, what do you think about this guy? And that's their response. Trust me, they're not going to buy. So another thing that you got to keep in mind while all this is being said is make sure you don't just give them stuff they don't really want. We marketers, we business owners usually have this thing that we fall in love with our product. So with that being said, I'd like to tell you that never fall in love with your product, service, or idea. A lot of the times we feel like we've got a genius idea and we protect it. We protect it so much that we lose sight, that we lose perception. We lose insight from other people, and we believe so much that our product is the best that we start selling it hardcore. We start talking about features and benefits. But listen, the reality is no one cares about your product and service. And it may be harsh to hear, but that is the reality. And don't worry, there's still a way to sell them, but it's instead of you talking about your product or service, start talking about benefit. Start talking about pain and pleasure. Okay? So let me recap. No one cares about your product, but everybody cares. But everybody cares about their own pain or pleasure. So once you start shifting from selling a product or service and you start selling an outcome, everything is going to change. And think, all right, so let's say you've got a weight loss program, right? Instead of selling your people, hey, I've got this 8-week program, we run every day for an hour and we eat super clean and we balance your hormones and that's what we do. And it's, $1,000. No one's really going to buy because no one wants to work out 1 hour a day, eat clean, and fix their hormones. On the other hand, what people want is, getting clean, looking better naked, and then at the end of the day, they really want the emotion. They want that pleasure or avoidance of pain. They really just want to feel desired by the opposite gender. They just really want to feel good in their skin. They may seek approval or admiration from their peer group. That's what they are after. At the end of the day, your prospect seeks an emotion. That's the outcome that they seek. So if you speak to their emotion, that's what's going to create motion. As Tony Robbins says it, emotion creates motion. You see, the reason why sometimes even myself or whoever really wakes up in the morning and you don't feel like doing stuff, it's because you're not in the right emotional state. If you are in the emotional state of, hey, I'm going to change my life because I know what are the costs, I know what are the benefits, if I don't change my life, then I'm going to die, then trust me, you're going to take different action. You're going to think differently. Therefore, you're going to get different results. And that's the biggest thing I see with some of the entrepreneurs out there, that they fall in love with their idea or product service so much that they start pitching it so hardcore that they start talking about it and how great they are and how great their service is, but nobody cares. The only thing they care about is pain, pleasure, right? What is it? What is in it for them? Keep that in mind. I think that's really, really key. And then number 4, take them one step closer to their goal. So with that being said, just imagine a straight line. At the beginning, there's an A, and at the end, there's Z. A is where the prospect is, and their pain, lack of leads, lack of money, overweight, whatever that is. And Z is really the outcome, right? The outcome would be, a stable business, sustainable business generating $50,000 a month profit, working only a couple hours a day, maybe more, spending time with the wife and the family. That would be the outcome. Now, your job in a funnel is not to get them from A to Z. Matter of fact, that's impossible because it simply takes, way more than a PDF or a video. But your job is to get them from A to B. Just one step closer to their goal. Whether that's a PDF, an ebook, or some sort of value that you give them, you just get them one step closer to their ultimate dream. And here's the thing, if they use your information or they use your service to get from A to B, guess who they're going to associate that with? It's going to be yourself and your brand and your business. If you're the one getting them closer from A to B, they're going to associate that progress with you. And now that you've given them results in advance and they didn't pay you a single penny, guess who they are going to feel most comfortable spending money with? It's going to be no one else than you. And finally, make sure that they consume. The 4th idea, take them one step closer to their goal, sounds ideal and it makes sense, I would assume, logically, and it all sounds good, but it's just a little tad bit more complex than I explained it. Of course, there's one thing to give people information, but so many people are given the information, they know what they should do, and instead of actually doing it, they just should all over themselves. They never actually get the end result. Why is that? Well, the biggest thing is that, life gets in the way, or that people keep the information in their mind intellectually, but they never actually feel it emotionally, right? They never actually sink it down to their subconscious where it becomes a part of their identity. So it's who they are and it's how they think and act. What that means is, a great example is like I've been told, hey, you should get a mentor for the longest time in my life, and I never pulled the trigger. I never got me a mentor. But then a couple of years later, when I was in a painful situation, that finally drove me to buy and hire a mentor. And then ever since that point, I had like 8 mentors, and it completely transformed my business, my mindset, and my everything. Now I've got 2 life coaches, 1 health coach, 1 business mentor at this time, and I'm just about to hire another one. So it tells you a lot about how this works. Please let me know if all this makes sense. I'm trying to throw a lot of information at you, but I really hope that you can take something away. Okay, let's see. Let's look at the 3 reasons people don't buy. I just want to keep this segment very short. The 3 biggest reasons people don't buy is, hey, they don't trust you, they don't trust themselves, and they feel like they have the time to make the decision. Now, let's look at number 1. They don't trust you. That's going to be an issue with authority, with positioning, with your material, lack of results in advance, right? So you got to think of that. What is causing the lack of trust? Look at your site, look at your material, look at your funnels, and ask yourself the question, what is causing the lack of trust? And the biggest thing that you can actually do is get third-party feedback. Ask your mentor, ask your friend, ask someone else in the industry, because oftentimes we get this tunnel vision, and we look at one tree but we don't see the whole forest. So third party advice can be worth gold if it's the right person. Of course, you want to take advice from someone who's qualified, right? So I hope that explains it. Number 2, they don't trust themselves. It's the reality. Sometimes people have insecurities and fears. They might have been burned in the past. They just don't trust that they can get the result. What if I'm, too young? What if I'm too old? What if I'm not from the US? What if I lack finances? What if I don't have social proof? What if this happens? What if that happens? That's the biggest thing. People, every human being has fears. And they might have been burned in the past, and you need to help them overcome those objections, because that's exactly what's standing in between their transformation. So there's different things that we can do, to shatter beliefs and rebuild them. I unfortunately don't have time to dive into that deep. But let's look at number 3. That's something we can very quickly fix. Number 3 is really the idea that we have time to make a decision. But anytime we put something off and we don't make it a binary yes or no question, anything that's a maybe, it's just going to take up mental space, mental storage in your brain. So it doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve yourself. It doesn't serve your prospects. And at the end of the day, what we usually see is life gets in the way. Something comes up, some unexpected problem, some unexpected bill, some unexpected something, some new stuff to work on, and then they never actually get to the point of making the decision, right? And for that reason, we just use scarcity. That's it. You use a deadline funnel. One thing I would recommend is deadlinefunnel.com. You can put it on all pages that you have, from purchase pages to even theoretically opt-in pages, although I would not really recommend it in opt-in pages. And that eliminates number 3. Just get rid of the time, because it really is doing a disservice to everybody. Putting off things has never helped anyone, okay? So that's something that I would highly, highly recommend. So I hope that you could take some value out of this. I only got a few minutes, and you saw I was interrupted by a meeting. I came back and tried to give you some more value. I try to pile up some of the key lessons we learned from spending millions in ads and getting some really good results. And these are the things that you may not want to hear. These are, might have been, looking for an advanced strategy, like, hey, what is the 1 or 2 things I can do right now to blow up my business? And yes, there's sometimes those things that we do and the business blows up. We've had the chance to go down from $90 per application to $30 per application literally overnight. We had the chance to serve these businesses and take them from 0 to 50 grand a month, 0 to 80 grand a month, 0 to $1,000 profit per day. And also some businesses that we had the great amazing privilege to double their sales or double their lead flow in a matter of weeks. So yes, sometimes these advanced strategies and leverage points have, you know, can help greatly, but they only can help a business whose fundamentals are in place. I can help grow any business. That's not the issue. But so many people think that business is just about sales and marketing. And the reality, it's not. Yes, you can make a bunch of promises and you can sell a bunch of people, but at the end of the day, that's only going to make your business collapse. And it's crazy. I recently been speaking to one of my friends, and he grew a business from zero to 150 grand a month in a matter of months. And then the whole thing collapsed. And now that I think back, I mean, so many people have this dream. Oh, if I only make 10 grand a month, 100 grand a month. And listen, this guy was living the dream. He made it happen. And, matter of fact, he was sold on this dream by other people. But when you actually get to that level, you discover that, listen, business is not just about selling a service or a product to some people and that's it. Operations come into place. A team comes into place. Finance comes into place. Taxes come into place. There's so much that goes on behind the scenes of a business. And that's why, nowadays we have a COO, we have VAs, we have account managers, ad managers, consultants. Like, now it's a serious operation. Even myself, I started out just by myself, and then I got one ad manager to help me out, and then I got a VA. And I remember the days when, we managed 3-4 accounts, we were talking in Skype and stuff, and it was fun times. But, now we know to actually get a client and retain them and make them happy for months and years to come. Selling them and just like letting things happen is not enough. Right, so I do take great pride in some of the client results that we've generated. You can take a look at them below on this page, and I hope you like it. I hope you take it as a source of inspiration. Of course, a full disclaimer that, you see, I don't know you yet, I don't know your business yet, so I'm not just going to promise or guarantee that you can generate the same results. However, if you're willing to go for it, give it a shot. I invite you to potentially book a phone call below. First, you need to apply, and then book a phone call. Now, the reality is that we usually disqualify roughly 80% of people because of our guarantee. We are most known for our ROI guarantee. Essentially, if we sign up anybody, then we pretty much guarantee their ROI. Otherwise, we'd work with them until they succeed. And understandably, that's a gigantic guarantee, and because of that, there's only certain types of businesses that we can work with. So below on this page, you'll see who we've actually worked with in the past, see some great results. And then if you feel like that you could potentially be one of those businesses where you hand us all your marketing and your funnel issues and all that good stuff, and we just figure out the sales and marketing aspect for you on done for you basis, then I'd be happy to help. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. I hope I could just give you some ideas, some tips and tricks that you can take away right now and implement them. And yes, I understand a lot of the concepts were not super sexy, but I would much rather tell you the truth. I would much rather give you the actual genuine information that it took me literally 8 years to compile, and literally hundreds of thousands in my personal education from mentors, masterminds, seminars, courses, video, you name it, because this is what matters. The key is in fundamentals. It's not in the advanced tactics. Sure, that can help, but I really hope that I could really give you a taste of what is truly important. So thank you for watching. Have a great day, and bye-bye.